Between Tecate and the small town of Campo, there's a valley with 1.3 miles of border where there is no barrier at all. It's 2 miles east of Tecate and 1.5 miles west of Campo. Campo Creek crosses the border at this location. The community is called Canyon City. I believe the Border Patrol calls this part of the border Trestle Valley because an old railroad bridge is there. We'll start this tour actually in the next valley to the west called Bell Valley. You can see where the border fence stops ahead on the slope of the ridge. In this location, there's old bollard fence 14 to 15 feet high, built late during the Bush term or early in the Obama term. It's almost the same design as the Trump fence, but usually just not as high. Now we're at the top of that same ridge, looking down into Trestle Valley and across into Mexico. At the end of this scene, you'll be able to see on the opposite ridge where the old fence ends. There is no other barrier in this valley other than that old fence on the ridge. It's also Bush Obama bollard fence. There was around 50 or 60 miles of this older fence on the California border, and it was mostly not replaced because it is considered serviceable. If they want to improve this fence in the future, they would probably add a secondary fence, not tear down the old one. This is a closer view of the same scene. At the bottom of the valley, it's fairly flat ground and nothing at all to keep people from walking across. Here's a view of the train trestle, and on the left you see the railroad track going into the tunnel that crosses the border. This railroad was built about 100 years ago. Campo Creek runs underneath the trestle when there's water flowing in it. San Diego never had a good direct train connection to the east, and that's why LA grew a lot bigger than San Diego. Every few years, someone proposes that we're going to modernize these old train tracks and start running trains again. If you look through this tunnel, the light you see on the other side is Mexico. You can see also that there's been 1 or 2 cave-ins. This view is from the ridge on the east side above the train tunnel. It shows the end of the old fence and the view into Mexico. The image sweeps to the ridge on the west. The 1.3 mile gap in the border here stretches from the end of the old fence to the other side of the opposite ridge that was seen at the beginning of this video. The border here is very accessible from Mexico. Mexican Highway 2 is a couple miles to the south and dirt roads lead to the border. This shows the terrain where the illegal crosser would walk out from the border and either surrender to a Border Patrol agent to claim asylum or coordinate to have a coyote pick him up on Campo Road, that is Highway 94. The highway is in the distance at the end of this image. This is from the same ridge but zooms in on a house in the Canyon Country community. A red car can be seen on Highway 94, the logical pickup place. It's only about 400 or 500 yards to the highway from the border in a straight line. This is on the other side of the ridge to the east. It's the new 30-foot high bollard fence. Most of this stretch from Tecate past Campo out to Boulevard looks like this, about 20 miles. I'm just showing you the worst part of the fence here because some people will want to know that there are still gaps. I'm not saying it's all bad, I'm just trying to show the reality. The places where there are still gaps generally have to do with technical issues due to water drainage, rugged mountain ridges, and political issues due to Indian reservations.